6 months with my Genesis GV60 performance. What's that been like? Hey everybody, welcome to the channel. My name is Victor of Cars Jubilee. Today you join me in my GV60 performance for our 6-month update. Let's get to it. Let's start with the exterior. And it's been going great. The uni white paint has held up really well, and this thing goes through the same automatic car wash as my Ioniq 5 with the matte paint. It goes through about once every 2 or 3 weeks. No issues. I mentioned before a folded in window rubber seal that's kind of deformed. Well, it was like this when we picked up the car from the dealership. A replacement has been ordered under warranty, so now we're just waiting for it to come in and get it installed. But that's really the only exterior defect. Genesis did just an amazing job with the GV60. Panel gaps are still perfectly uniform. Everything still lines up perfectly after 6 months. Moving to the inside, it's also still going great. Amazing fit and finish inside. No creaks or rattles of any kind at 6 months. And we live in the city where we go over big potholes and really beat up city streets. We even have some old cobblestone roads near us, but still, it's whisper quiet inside. Everything stays buttoned down because they did such a good job. Excellent build quality. So from just a physical or aesthetic viewpoint, this Genesis GV60 is pretty much as close to perfect as it can be. So if you're looking for a car that exudes excellent build quality and craftsmanship, well, this GV60, or maybe just every Genesis in general, is something you should be looking at. We do have a small crease now on the driver's seat that may be considered normal creasing with Nappa leather. I'm honestly not really sure, but I don't think it's really a big deal either way. Let's move on to some highlights, starting with just how this car feels. Luxurious, lavish, opulent. How else do I describe how upscale this car feels? From the sound of the door closing, to the weight and the feel of all the switchgear and the buttons, just the plushness of the suede everywhere. This GV60 performance makes you feel like you're traveling first class. It reminds you you are in a luxury car. I mean, anytime I reach for the seatbelt, well, instead of brushing up against hard plastic, I get this soft and velvety suede. Or when it's sunny, I'll instinctually pull down the sun visor, and oh, that's soft and smooth. Again, because it's suede everywhere. In fact, I often forget this is a luxury performance EV because it's just so good at the luxury aspect. You actually get lost in the luxuriousness and you totally forget it's packing a punch with that green boost button. So I think I'm kind of doomed because any other future car I get, it's going to feel like a step down in luxury. Next highlight, well, this thing is actually an excellent road tripper. We finally got to do some road tripping with this GV60, and the opportunities have been kind of hard to come by because we're a family of 5. And as a family of 5, this car is a little small. When you consider we have luggage and other things to bring on road trips, it just isn't really feasible to bring this car. So we end up taking our other vehicles. The Ioniq 5 is a little bigger. In order to take this GV60 on a road trip, it has to be just 3 of us when our girls are at college and when we're going somewhere that's not too far because we don't really want to deal with EA's charging infrastructure. You never really know for sure what you're going to get at each EA station. But in any case, when we did finally get this out on the road for road trips, I mean, it's super quiet. It's super well insulated from the outside. And then the ride is just buttery smooth. It's just get on the highway and smooth sailing all the way there and back. And then there are these seats, which are super comfortable. They are on the firm side, but that's personally what I prefer. And the driver's seat is the best seat in the house. It's got 12-way adjustment. It also has lumbar adjustment. And it also has something called ergo motion, which involves 7 different air cells, which inflate and deflate. and especially if you use the massage function, that's going to activate parts of your body that aren't really moving when you're driving. Personally, I do feel like that helps with comfort, and as someone with a bad back, I have had zero issues with these seats, which is the ultimate stamp of approval from my back. I do plan on doing a separate seat review for the GV60 Performance, but at least so far, they might be some of the best seats I've ever been in. The next highlight is actually the winter range. Now, when I bought this car, I always thought it's gonna be a little tough in the winter. It's only rated at 235 miles of range. However, during the summertime, I was seeing 280, 290, so I thought, am I really only going to see 230 or 40 during the winter? And surprisingly, I've been getting more. I've been averaging about 250, 255 miles of range during my average work week. And then once we hit the highway for our road trips, well, then we were still seeing about 230 to 240 miles of range of just pure highway driving at 40-degree Fahrenheit exterior temperatures, which is, still winter weather. It's relatively cold, and we're going, 65, almost 70 miles an hour sometimes. So honestly, I'm pretty impressed. This is better than I was expecting. Next is the fact that Genesis is listening. So way back when we first bought the car, there was this little glitch where the climate system would show Celsius every once in a while instead of Fahrenheit. Even after we reset it, it would still go back to Celsius, just kind of randomly on and off. Probably happened 5-6 times total. Well, then one day out of the blue, we got an update over the air. And what I immediately noticed was we never saw that glitch ever again. That means that Genesis somehow heard about this glitch and quickly put out an over-the-air update and fixed it. And that's exactly what we want automakers to do with over-the-air updates. And the crazy part is that this Genesis GV60, this glitch was only showing up in the US market. And in the US market at the time, there might have been maybe 1,000 US owners with GV60s on the road. So that means they went in there, they messed with the software, and they pushed out this over-the-air update for just about 1,000 of us at the time. And that's really impressive. So great job, Genesis. And here's the final highlight. And that's the fact that this car, this GV60 Performance, is a sleeper. This thing goes unnoticed. It just blends in. I really didn't expect that because my Ioniq 5 just attracts so much attention everywhere I go. And I kind of expected that to be the case with the GV60 Performance. I mean, this thing's got 500 horsepower almost. But that just hasn't been the case. And in fact, it's been kind of nice to be able to live both sides of the coin. The Ioniq 5 grabs attention everywhere it goes, whereas the GV60 Performance, I can slip in and slip out and no one bats an eye. Now, obviously as a car enthusiast, if I saw this on the road, I would think, what? But for everyone else, it's just a regular white car. They probably can't even tell it's an EV, and they definitely have no idea that it's packing close to 500 horsepower. And now moving on to the not so great things. Number one, it's been a little glitchy. Number two, it's been a little more glitchy. Now, if you caught my most recent glitchy video, you saw a couple of the more recent issues that I've had with the GV60, but it doesn't end there. We've been having some additional issues with some of the sensors of the car. We're still working with Genesis. We're still working with corporate to kind of figure out what's going on and what to do next. But just in general, it's kind of disappointing to see such an amazing car have quite a few software glitches. Because if not for that, this car has been pretty close to perfect. I mean, it's essentially my dream car. It's got the power levels that I want, close to 500 horsepower. It's got this crazy blue interior, which I absolutely love. On top of that, it's super comfortable, super easy to drive in the city because it's kind of small and compact. And I get free valet servicing where I never have to leave home. They take care of everything for me. So what else could I ask for? It's almost the perfect car. Maybe the best car I've ever owned? Maybe? Well, I guess I could wish for some less software glitches. Anyways, my plan moving forward is to update a little bit more frequently with the GV60. I've been kind of lagging in the content creation department for the GV60. A lot of my channel has been focused on the Ioniq 5, and I want to try my best to give the GV60 performance the content that it deserves. So if you're interested in the GV60, make sure you subscribe. Plenty more content to come. Also, let me know in the comment section below if there are specific things about the GV60 performance that you guys want to know, that you want to see content about. Because one of my main goals when I created this channel was to help provide useful information. Whether you're an existing owner or you're someone that's car shopping and just doing research, I've been where you are, looking for ownership experience content and not really finding it. I also know how much weight an actual owner's experience can carry. So let me know in the comment section below. And as always, please subscribe, as subscribing helps grow the channel and hopefully lets us do more with it later on. Anyways, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next one.